Hey guys, and welcome to another YouTube video. In this one we'll be showing you the ORC Bloody Beginner build, which you can see here to my right side. This is suitable for anyone that is relatively new to Warcraft 3, would like to play ORC as their main race, and would like to have a sturdy and reliable build that can be okay in every matchup and every situation. I'm gonna be following this build. Feel free to take a look at it and screenshot the build if you like. It's also available on my subscriber page via Twitch. You're going to be opening up with an altar and a burrow, and then you'll be following up with a barracks. This build is kind of one size fits all. It's neither the best nor the best in every situation, but what it is something that you can reliably repeat and get some good micro experience, some economy experience, and some creeping experience. I've especially designed it to be relatively simple for new beginning players and to work in the most variety of situations. So without further ado, let's jump right into this game. We'll be starting off with the Farseer when the altar finishes, and we put all the peons to lumber. You're gonna want to have one burrow next to your gold mine so that if you get attacked, you can easily escape them into the burrow. Keep making peons until you're at 16 food. That's the trigger number to know that your next production will be a burrow. You'll be momentarily pausing peons. As soon as you've got 40 lumber, make another peon into a burrow and wait for your barracks to finish. It's important to stay at 16 food so you can build a grunt immediately when the barracks finishes. Your second burrow is going to want to be near your lumber peons. Again, if you get attacked, it doesn't take them long to walk all the way to the burrow. Some new players may be tempted to build the burrows in front, but burrows are as much a base defense, shooting spears when there's peons inside, as they are fragile. Unlike other orc buildings, they do not have fortified defenses, so they are often a focused target. As soon as the Farseer comes out, pick Feral Spirits, or I renamed them Logan Twins, which is the name of my dog, but that's just something silly. Get the Feral Spirit and start your first creep camp. As soon as your burrow finishes, rally your barracks on top of your Farseer and make a second grunt. Once you see that you're at 23 food, that will be the trigger number to know that you're making nothing else anymore for the time being. You're not going to make any more peons or any more grunts. You will move to the second creep camp on the map. This can be a green camp or an orange camp. The color itself is an indication of the strength of the creep camps, but you don't always necessarily know how strong a camp is exactly. Check the levels of the creeps. If they're level 2 and 3, you should be able to handle it. As soon as you reach 300 plus gold, upgrade your main base to a stronghold and keep creeping. As soon as you have 200 gold, you can start making a third grunt. The third grunt is production. Your second ability on Farseer is going to be Chain Lightning, and now would be a good time to send your Feral Spirits, if they're still alive, to various locations on the map to try and figure out where he is. Take all your lumber peons and repair, and try not to use gold peons in burrow defense if you can at all help it. It becomes quite messy to try and put your peons back to gold, so generally you try to use only lumber peons. I have a Cloak of Shadows. You're not always gonna have it, but if you do, it's a great way to save your Farseer from attacks. I will now use a charge of Heal Salve on myself, which is a non-combat consumable item that you can purchase from the Voodoo Lounge, and you should make good use of that. It will heal 400 health over a period of 45 seconds. That's pretty much a full health Farseer again. You're gonna keep healing in between fights whenever possible. Once you're at 29 food, you're gonna make a third burrow. Try not to forget this, even if you're busy skirmishing. This is the macro part that we're talking about. Now he's next to me, and before you run into anywhere with your Farseer first, try to use your wolves to scout out what's happening. We now see that he has triple burrow, which is pretty much the same as us. We may not understand every build that we see when we see it, but we can compare it, especially in Orc Mirror, mirror meaning you're both the same race. Especially in Orc Mirror, you can see, hey, if he's got roughly what I have, he's probably roughly making what I have. And that's a pretty comforting thought. Use Chain Lightning when grunts are nearly dead to try and finish them off. Don't use it on full HP grunts. It's a pretty expensive spell, so we like to think of it as a finisher. Once this burrow finishes, you can either go ahead and make a fifth grunt, or you can hold your gold. Even though you've got high gold count, it's not like in StarCraft that anytime you have a high gold count, you're automatically a noob. The high gold count is actually you saving up for your tier 2 building, your stronghold, to finish. And you're gonna make a bunch of things that are only unlocked once you get to your stronghold. One is a bestiary and the other is a Tauren totem. Remember the build. We are now at the 29 food mark, so we're a little over halfway. And we're gonna continue taking creeps whenever possible. I'm now starting a Shadow Hunter and I'm putting all my unit production buildings in the same group. What this allows me to do is to make a unit here and then press tab and it highlights the bestiary, and then I could make a unit here. If I remember all the hotkeys, that would be a good system for me to be able to cycle through my buildings. I'm going to start a 4th burrow as well, which is a little bit out of sequence with the build order, but it is fine. You can follow my build order or this. And I'm gonna TP to defend my base. Keep in mind that you can, in a radius like this, target your town portal so that you can be in a good position. This burrow is about to die. I'm gonna cancel it so I don't give away experience and resources too much. He has gone for my grunts. I'm gonna put some peons in burrows and I'm gonna start my first raider. Although he's killed a grunt, we'll be getting one as well. Keep in mind that burrows do not give you experience when they get the last hit, so make sure to stand them down before his unit dies to your burrows. Same with the wolves. Summons also give experience. We're now making that 4th burrow again, and we're going to start a war mill. Build the war mill close to where your peons would like to be mining. This can either be where they were, or it can be where you want them to mine. I could pull all the peons, put them here, and have the war mill. My shadow will take first ability Serpent Wards. After my raider is done, I'm gonna research and snare. And I'm gonna rally all the buildings on my Shadow Hunter. Here's something you can do, but you don't need to do, but I will do it. I'm gonna remove my Farseer from experience range, which is about a screen. He will not get experience when the turtle dies. That means that 100% of the experience will be going to the Shadow Hunter, who will now be reaching level 2 more quickly. He's attacking once again. This seems to be a pattern, so we're gonna do a combination of repairing and defense. Second raider, Spirit Walker upgrade, and coming back to defend. There's one thing that the build order doesn't cover, and it's upgrading Berserker Strength. But if you survive enough grunts from the early game, you can get Berserker Strength. If you only have like 1 grunt left, it's not worth getting. But it's very worth if you have 2 or 3 grunts left. Now that the war mill is finished, I'm going to be starting a Kodo Beast. I'm sending wolves to him to both get information and maybe to do some harass. I like to have my raiders in control group 2, and I like to have my walkers in control group 3, and the rest of it in control group 1. But if this is too much for you to handle, feel free to put your raiders together with the rest of your army. Do try to keep Spirit Link separately though. Sorry, try to keep your Spirit Walker separately, as it will be easier to cast spells when he's not in the same group. You would have to be doing too many tabs. I'm gonna start another creep camp. Our Kodo has come out, and we're getting Berserker Strength, as we do still have enough available. That wolf harass seemed to do quite a lot of damage. We're gonna do it again. This is one of your cool late game tricks or mid game tricks to do economic damage to human and orc players. It works best against orc. Just like before, I'm gonna send my Farseer away from the creep so that Shadow Hunter will get all of the experience. I'm gonna buy some heal salves, and I'm going to get second ability, Serpent Ward or Heal. This is a decision you can make. Do you think it's better to go for Serpent Ward, or is it better to go for healing? It depends on the situation, and try to have fun while you experiment with what works better for you. In this case, I am going to get Heal second, upgrading it again, because I'm against Orc and he has a lot of heavy armor units, which does not take bonus damage from piercing, which is what Serpent Wards do. If you don't understand or follow this, don't worry too much about it. Typically, Serpent Wards are the best against Night Elf, and Heal is the best against Orc. Spirit Link, which is the hotkey R by default, but you can change this, is a 4-unit cast that distributes damage across units. And it helps keep units alive. I'm gonna quickly go home to defend myself. Get some heal and protection scroll. And try to repair my barracks to keep it alive. This is close position. It's a very aggressive game. So I'm going to make another Kodo Beast and another Spirit Walker and go over 50 food. 50 food allows you to have bonus income. But if you stay there too long, you could get attacked and you would lose a game too early. Press E to send all your workers back to work. Wherever they were, that's where they will go back to. Anytime you're doing an attack, you can bring some peons. You don't have to add them to your control group, just bring them. Turn on auto repair. And then you can do something cool like build a watchtower or build a voodoo lounge. So that when you attack, you have extra force coming up behind there. Like digging in trenches. Priority targets when you attack people are their voodoo lounge, so that they cannot heal as easily. Try not to compromise your position when you do so, but it is worth taking it down. Serpent Ward has a really short cooldown, and it lasts 40 seconds. You can have up to 6 at the same time. Try to get good at casting it anytime it's available. I'm making a watchtower and a voodoo lounge. I can use disenchant to remove wolves, and he actually has a hidden force of wind riders. Serpent Wards will do pretty good here. I'm gonna turn on protection scroll. I'm gonna heal the target he's focusing, casting Spirit Link, and Chain Lightning whenever possible. Chain Lightning is now level 2. That's gonna be pretty useful. You can try to make your Serpent Wards focus the correct thing. The air, that's the thing we really want to be taking down. And it will help if you focus. Though if you don't know what to attack, you can just take everything, press A and click behind him and you will attack things automatically. After you do that, you at least make sure that all of your units are attacking and you'll be able to correct units as they are doing the wrong thing. Like, okay, I want you to ensnare, I want to heal this one, I want to pull this one back. Hope you enjoyed this ORC Bloody Beginner build. Attacking around 50-60 food is a pretty good idea, and as you can see in the build order as well, there are other things you could do once you're at 50 food. You could use more War Mill upgrades, for example. You could upgrade to tier 3 and get a Tauren Chieftain 3rd, or you could take an expansion. Try not to do all 3 at the same time. Why not pick Hex at level 3? You'd have 3 mana costing spells, Cartwright, and you would be lacking mana and every spell would not be as effective as it could be.